Fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. The Patrick Riggins Show. Call in now at 865-243-8255. That's 243-TALK. And now your host, Patrick Riggins.
Welcome back. This is the Patrick Riggins Show, the bulwark of libertarianism here. Coming at you live here with Tori here in the studio, and we're sitting around talking. You know, if you don't watch on the webcam, you really need to. So what we need to do is figure out a way to get with the station management and say, hey, I want to sell a subscription, and you can hear what's being said during the webcam. No. No. Yeah. Tori votes no on that.
No. Are you insane?
Yeah. All right.
We cannot let them into the inner circle.
Yeah.
It's our own government. They can't see.
Yeah, you're not that benevolent.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
The man behind the curtain, exactly. All right. Real quick here during this last segment, I want to get to something that's been bugging me a little, and it's this that quietly and surreptitiously happening over the years here in America, and you probably wouldn't be alerted to this unless you're listening to this radio show, but there is a redefining of the American dream. The American dream used to mean that here in America we are all created equal, and that we all have the chance to be successful. It didn't depend on whether the government was there or not, or whether there was a handout for us. It means that we took care of ourselves. And when we succeeded, it was because we worked hard and made it happen. But now President Obama, and not just to pick on him, because a lot of people in this country believe exactly as he does, but the president is trying to take apart the original American dream and replace it with this bastardized big government definition. So to get this started, just listen to this first clip here.
They want to know that if they work hard and live within their means, everything will be all right. They'll be able to get ahead and give their kids a better life.
So if you work hard and live within your means, everything will be all right. But the truth is, it might not be. That is the risk. But no one wants that risk anymore. And the government is more than willing to tell people it can mitigate that risk if they will just give up some of their freedom. Here is Obama's version of the American dream.
You know, the bedrock of our economic success is the American dream. It's a dream shared in big cities and small towns, across races, regions, and religions, that if you work hard, you can support a family. That if you get sick, there will be health care that you can afford. That you can retire with the dignity and security and respect that you've earned. That your children can get a good education, and young people can go to college even if they don't come from a wealthy family.
So a job, health care, college, all of this is the American dream?
Sounds good.
Yeah, but you'd be wrong. He is completely wrong. None of this is required for the American dream. Here again, he keeps trying to sell that college, though, as part of that.
For the young people, I mean, who have the grades, the will, and the drive to go to college, but still don't have the money and are having to further their dreams further and further into the future until maybe those dreams just go away.
College is not the American dream. Many immigrants come here without a college education and have lived the American dream. So college cannot be it. So if none of these things are it, then what is the American dream? It's simple. It is the freedom to live your life without interference from government. But Patrick, you say, the American dream is material success, as Tori was just doing. I anticipated that argument coming.
What you said.
And I've been told over and over that going to college, getting a good job, becoming successful, that's the American dream. Okay, if that is true, that stuff happens all around the world. Why single out America and call it the American dream? No, it is freedom, because freedom and liberty, like we used to have in this country, is what made it great. Other countries have jobs. Other countries have health care. Other countries have college-educated people. But the rare gem we have is freedom, what many countries don't have. That is the American dream. All the other things are the results and rewards of the American dream. And that is precisely why Obama and others want to redefine the American dream, because frankly, they don't want you having that much freedom. They want to gather you into a nice community, just like the good old Soviets, and destroy any individual freedoms and liberties you might harbor. Just listen to this next clip.
As a country that prizes both our individual freedom and our obligations to one another, this is one of the most important debates that we can have.
See, he is telling us we prize our individual freedom, which he has to put in there to make it the next part go down easier. Our obligations to one another. We don't have obligations to one another. No one in a free country is obligated to do anything. But Obama, being a socialist, he doesn't see it that way.
But no matter what we argue or where we stand, we have always held certain beliefs as Americans. We believe that in order to preserve our own freedoms and pursue our own happiness, we can't just think about ourselves. We have to think about the country that made those liberties possible. We have to think about our fellow citizens with whom we share a community. We have to think about what's required to preserve the American dream for future generations.
Now, let's take that first part. He is trying to define what we hold dear as Americans.
But no matter what we argue or where we stand, we have always held certain beliefs as Americans.
Okay, and what are those beliefs, Mr. President?
We believe that in order to preserve our own freedoms and pursue our own happiness, we can't just think about ourselves. We have to think about the country that made those liberties possible.
To preserve our own freedom and pursue our own happiness, we have to think about the country that made those liberties possible. See, Obama's way of thinking is that the government makes liberty possible. And by country, he means government. You are not born with liberty. It is granted by the government. So what is his goal?
To restore an America where everyone has a fair shot, everyone does their fair share, and everybody plays by the same rules.
He wants to restore America where everyone has a fair shot, everyone has a fair shake, and everyone plays by the same rules. And who is going to make sure that happens? The government, of course. The American dream is defined by Obama as being a good and loyal citizen, dutifully going to work, paying your taxes, and living according to how the government wants you to live. And only then are you living the American dream. If you see, it's much easier to change the definition of something than to change people. By changing the definition of the American dream, people will begin to work towards that instead of that pesky old definition we used to have of everyone having freedom and liberty and being created equal. If Obama and his little band of like-minded socialists can redefine the American dream so that the results and rewards are what define it, then only the fact that you have them will matter, not how you got them. If the government is the one providing that outcome, then people will start to see it as integral to achieving this new definition of the American dream. In doing so, the government will be just one step closer to defeating these ideas of freedom and liberty. So when you hear these people, and as I said, I'm not just picking on President Obama. There's a lot of people that believe this way. But when you hear someone defining the American dream as the results of American dream or the rewards of living here in America, make sure you set them straight. Because the American dream is not what you've got, is not what you're looking around if you have a big house and a big car. The American dream is freedom, because that's what makes this country special. None of the other things. Other countries have all those other things. What we had is freedom, and that's the anomaly. Amen, Brother Patrick. All right, we're coming up on the last of the show here. And again, I want to thank everyone for listening and making this show just incredibly successful week after week. If you'd like to get more information about this, and I've been shamelessly plugging this the whole show, you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show. And be sure and hit that like button on Facebook. We're also on Twitter at Patrick Riggins, and on YouTube at youtube.com/Patrick Riggins Show. Join me next Sunday afternoon when once again we'll talk about freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. This is Patrick Riggins, and we'll see you next Sunday. Have a fantastic week.